Hello everyone, my name is Locoforce and welcome to a massively, humongously giant update. So yeah, let's get right into it, because as you can see, this is quite a big step up. Okay guys, welcome back to the layout. As you can see, I've done a lot of work, and I think I'm quite happy with how it's come out. And that's my attempt at being funny. Here it is. It's just being kept up here now. If you couldn't tell from that sneak peek, my old layout, we're going to be restoring it. So that is basically going to be the new series. And this project is going to be on hiatus until I move out into a flat. Because that was the idea, is that this little layout here is going to be my project, so I can still have trains when I've moved out of this house. Ignore that, that's... Anyway, so as you can see, no layout here. Let's be honest, it didn't really fit. It was constantly falling down the side. But basically this morning, my dad kind of got me downstairs and we set it up because he thought I was wasting a lot of money on this little thing. And to be fair, he was right. So again, that project is going to be on pause for the next couple years, most likely. There will be updates on that eventually. But yeah, what we're going to have to do now is we're going to have to take a trip down to the garage, and I'll show you the new layout and give you a brief tour and basically what's going to be happening to the old layout. So let's jump right in. Okay guys, so welcome to the garage. We've got a lot to talk about. If you can't tell, we have a new engine just over in the back there. But first, this is my old layout. If you've gone back through my videos, you'll see there is loads of old layout updates on this. And me and my dad worked on this a lot back in 2018, 2019. No, yeah, about 2018. And as you can see, this area especially, I think we did a pretty good job on. This looks very like the hills, which are expanding foam. They look pretty good. But as you can see, it's double track. It's a loop-de-loop layout. It's one of the hornby. It's a basic hornby setrack with a few modifications, I think. So yeah, we've got there'll be a couple sidings up the front here. Well, there used to be, as you can see, where the track bed is. And then of course we have a siding in here, and then we've got another. I think this is first radius that will go around to here. Now, I mean, I think it's first radius, I'm not sure, it could be second radius, I don't know how all the radiuses work, but outside loop, that's third radius, that's second radius, so I'm assuming these ones on the inside are probably first radius, I don't really know. But as you can see, track used to come up to the end here, and we've got this structure here, which has been ripped apart, so I need to do a new front for it. Still not entirely sure it's in the right place, to be honest. It's just been held up by this pole. But that was used to hide trains and just to give a little bit of a different level, I guess, to the layout. And as you can see, they kind of just run through the back here underneath it. There was an abandoned station scene in the middle. That's probably all going to get changed up. But yeah, I need a load of new points. So this area here is going to be exactly the same as it used to be. Need a new crossover track, 2 more points here for these sidings, and the changes that I'm thinking about adding is we're going to have a few sidings in here to store my engines. I'm planning on getting a load more of these American, well, they'll be Canadian GP9s, so I'm hoping, unlike this one, which was 35 quid, these newer ones will be brand new, so I'm hoping they'll cope with second radius. But the idea is, once this is filled in, there'll be a... Hopefully I think I'll be able to fit in a point here, and then we'll be able to have another line coming in here. Either that, or I'm just going to split up here. So we'll have a siding for a platform, and then a siding just for an engine to sit in. This layout is going to be DC, using this controller down here, which again was gifted me by learning OO gauge. So only one engine will be able to run on this until I get another controller. But that's not a problem. As you can see back, oh, you can't see actually, I've got these things to convert the power over, which means I can run a single loco on either track. I can't run two at the same time unless I want them in the same direction at the same speed, but I don't mind as long as I have one loco that can move wherever the hell it wants on the layout. All the points are going to be isolating points, so that I can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 engines parked up on the layout at any one time, and a 6th moving round. Depending on how many I can fit in here, it might be a little bit more than that, but in all honesty, I was just thinking, if this one does split off, then I highly doubt I'm going to be able to get another track coming through here. But we'll see. I'm going to order more points than I am actually going to need, just so I can work that out. And it's always good to have a spare point, I think. So that is the layout, basically, and a couple plans for it. But if you want to see how this was built, then there's a load of old videos on that from a couple years back. So I guess we'll talk about this new engine next. Okay guys, what we have here is my Maryland Midland Gp9, which is made by Walthers. I bought this off Rails of Sheffield for about 35 quid. And it's a very striking paint scheme, that's the first thing, that's why I bought it, because it just really caught my eye. And yeah, obviously it's an American engine, but on the layout there's going to be a mix. I'm going to be running American, I'll be running British, and maybe one day I'll be running Australian, because I'm not just interested in British stuff, and if I'm honest, I find a lot of British stuff is fairly boring to me, and I'm very much more into American, so hence this. Hopefully, if you're modelling a British layout, you're not just going to leave because this is American. And as you can see, bubble car, very much British, it's really awesome. I might get the American equivalent of a bubble car. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Basically, what I'm saying is, just because this isn't British doesn't mean you're not going to enjoy watching it. Because I'm going to be producing a mixture of content for British, American, and hopefully eventually Australian stock. So yeah, let's take a look at this. So what this is a GP9. These were built in the 60s, they are for switching work, and in this case this engine is still in use with the Maryland Midland Railroad. It's still in this paint scheme as far as I know, and it's the railway is now owned by Genesee and Wyoming, who also own Freightliner, and the new Freightliner livery is just copied directly off Genesee and Wyoming's American and Australian engines. So this is actually run by the same company who own Freightliner, so that's just an interesting bit of fact. I'm pretty sure this model is actually a repaint. I don't know, I think they did make a model of it, but it just looks like it's had decals applied. The camera's not picking it up, but it isn't the highest quality looking thing ever. I do love it though. I think it's really cool that it's repainted because that makes it a little bit rarer. But it looks like there's been decals applied and it does, again, it looks like it's a repaint. That isn't a problem with me though. Because, I mean, just look at it. Blue and orange, I mean, that is just a beautiful paint scheme in my opinion. It was second-hand, so it doesn't run perfectly. It is a very noisy loco, especially on second radius, so I'm assuming there's something up with the bogies. But it seems happy running on the third radius. So, in this loco's case, once all the tracks are in, it's going to be stored in this yard, as I highly doubt it'll be able to get around the third radius to the yard that's going to be over there, or loco storage, or whatever. So, yeah, that is my GP9, which is the newest addition to the fleet. Okay guys, so I'm kind of tethered right now because my phone's about to die. But as you can see over there, there's a little bit of a gap there. So I've had this up in my room because I was taking it apart to use on the layout upstairs, or the display layout, whatever. And obviously it's back down here. So I stupidly ripped the front off, which I'm quite angry about. So I'm going to probably replace it with a cardboard one. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Again, I think it's been warped. I'm also going to put in a tunnel entrance down that end, which never existed on the old layout. I don't know why actually, I think it's because it wasn't visible. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. I'm thinking maybe if I just put some weights on it, it might just warp it so it's permanently stuck down. Because it is just MDF, I think, so it's quite, you know, warpable. Don't know why I've said that word so much. But for some other things, the Nightwing security fencing I got is now going to go along the side of this road, and that'll be a network rail depot / station halt. I'm not sure, that could just be a servicing platform. So I brought the platform from upstairs, sorry. So that could be a servicing platform, or it could be a halt or something. And I'll put some buildings in there depending on what happens with the track plan over there. So I'll probably do some paper cutouts and figure it out that way. But yeah, so that is the layout. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you'll join me as we try and restore this back to its former glory, and then add on some bits more. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks very much for watching.